Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I'm going to be talking all about the ZOEVA BLANC Fusion eyeshadow palette. I've already done a video on the Caramel Melange and also the Cocoa Blend. So if you guys are interested in seeing those two videos, I'll be sure to leave it in a card throughout the video and also some links down below. But today we are going to be focusing all on the BLANC Fusion palette. It is the last palette in the box that I purchased. I got this box and it came with the caramel, cocoa, and the BLANC Fusion. But in today's video, I'll be giving you guys my thoughts on the palette and also showing you guys 3 demos from this one palette. So if you guys are interested, then just continue watching. Okay, so to get started with the review portion, I quickly just want to give you guys some product prices. So the BLANC Fusion palette, I believe it's 35 Australian dollars for just this palette alone. Or if you want to save a bit of money, you can get 3 palettes in this box, which is the one that I got. So you'll get the caramel, Cocoa Blend, and also the BLANC Fusion in this box, and you save $15, I believe. And you get this really nice display box, and each palette comes with 10 eyeshadows, and this is what the BLANC Fusion looks like. Each of the palettes have their own kind of theme, and the theme for BLANC Fusion is selected with care. Bright and innocent pigments for the taste of temptations. So really speaking about my thoughts on the palette, when I first kind of started this whole ZOEVA series, if you want to call it a series, I started off with the Caramel Melange, and I was really impressed by Caramel Melange. You know, it's a very warm palette, it has a lot of matte shades, beautiful shimmers. It was a really good palette. There were some cons with it, but overall I really enjoyed that palette. I even mentioned it in a favorites video. And then we moved on to Cocoa Blend, and if you guys watched that video, you know I wasn't really vibing with the colors in there. And then we come to BLANC Fusion. You know, I'm not really impressed either. I feel like because I started with Caramel Melange, my standard was so high, and then Cocoa Blend wasn't so good, and now I'm coming on to BLANC Fusion. It's just kind of going down. There are a couple of reasons why. So first, you get 6 matte and 6 metallic shades in here, which you would think is a really good mixture of finishes. But the mattes in here, they are too similar to each other that when it's on the eyes and blended out, they pretty much look the same thing. These two over here, one is just a little bit lighter, but they're kind of like in the same color family. There's really no use for these two, and then you get these two. I'm like, yay, we got some warm transition shades. These two here, once it's on the eyes, like they look warm. Like this one looks very warm, you know, this one looks a little bit more cool toned, but once it's on the eyes, they pretty much blend out to be the same, and the shade of it, I don't like it. Like, I don't want to be biased because you guys know I don't like cool tones, but more recently I have found that some cool tones do look good on my skin tone, and I actually like some of it. For example, the Colourpop collab with My Life is Eva, the one in vacation mode, a very cool tone quad. I was really impressed by that. But this almost looks so muddy and it looks very choppy. It's just not really flattering on the eyes. I don't know what kind of skin tone these kind of shades will look flattering on. Not for like a glam eye look, I wouldn't wear these shades. Maybe for like more of a creative Halloween look. They could have taken one of these shades out, replace it with something else a little bit warmer, because all of the metallics are so warm. So you're kind of mixing warm metallic shades with cool tone matte shades, and obviously you can do that. There are no rules to makeup, but to me that is like out of my comfort zone. Like you can see the eye look that I have on right now. This is my favorite one out of all of the ones that I created. I have like a very warm yellow, then my matte shades are very cool tone, and to me that's just so crazy. Some people this might look okay, but to me, like, I'm happy with this eye look. You know, I'm gonna take some selfies later, but I think it would have looked better if it was like warm shadows. And I know I don't want to be boring and be like, I love warm tones, but you know, I am boring and I do love warm tones. It's not like a bad palette, it's just honestly what you like. So when you go into this palette, just know that this is a very cool tone palette with really warm metallic shadows, and if that sounds appealing to you, then by all means. These 4 metallic shades are so beautiful. I feel like ZOEVA metallic shades are off the chart. Like if they came out with like an all metallic palette, I probably would get that because the metallic shadows are so good. There's not too much fallout compared to other metallic shadows. These 2 shades here are like so unique in my opinion. These 4 shadows are not worth to buy the palette alone, but it does save the palette for me. So overall, Blanc Fusion, not my favorite. Caramel Melange will be my favorite out of the 3. So that is pretty much all I wanted to say about the Blanc Fusion. I mean, I already done 2 previous reviews to this palette, so you guys can kind of get my general feel for ZOEVA eyeshadow palette. Matte shadows are kind of inconsistent for me, and metallic shadows are consistent and so beautiful. Probably one of the best metallic formulas in my opinion. But if you guys want to see some swatches and also 3 demos for this one palette, then let's go ahead and get started with that. So first, to start off with look 1, I took the shade Question of Taste, but I actually deleted the clip off my camera. So I just used this shade as my transition shade, which you guys have seen me do multiple times. And then I just took the shade over here, which I don't know how to pronounce, but I started putting this all over my lid. First focusing it on the outer corner and just bringing what is ever left into the inner corner of my eye. And then just taking the shade Last Bite, doing the same kind of motions, focusing most of the product on my lid, blending it up towards the transition shade. We are going to start creating a smoky eye. Lastly, we'll be taking the shade Sweetness Lingers, and we're going to place this right on top of the darkest shade that we placed on our lids. This is going to be one of my smoky glitter eyes. And finally, just taking the shade Last Bite. This is going all over our lower lash line from inner to outer corner. And quickly just taking a brown kohl liner, I'm just going to line my lower waterline with this. And this is the completed look for look number 1. It is a very simple look, very minimal steps. For lashes, I am wearing the Boudoir Lite from House of Lashes. I also gave myself a wing liner as usual. And for my lip color, I am wearing the shade Appy, which is the Luxe lipstick from Colourpop Cosmetics. Okay, so for look number 2, we are taking the shade that I cannot pronounce, and this is going to be our transition shade. You guys know which shade I'm talking about. I added a little emoji there so you guys know which one I'm talking about. Taking the shade Last Bite, we're going to focus this into the outer corner of our eyes and taking what is ever left on our brush into the inner third of our eye and making sure everything is nice and blended out. Then we'll be using the shade Late Bloomer, and this is going into the inner third of our eyes. I'm using this shade Wet, but oh my goodness guys, this shade is so stunning and so metallic. It looks so foiled on the eyes when it's wet. I want to pair this metallic shadow with warm eyeshadows. I think that will look seriously so amazing. And then quickly for my lower lash line, I'll be using Last Bite. This is going from inner to outer corner. You guys guessed it. And just using the Colourpop Creme Gel Liner, I'm going to use this to line my bottom waterline. And that is demo 2 completed. Very quick, very easy, very minimal step. For my lashes, I am wearing the Serene Light from House of Lashes. And for my lip color, I'm wearing the shade Carousel, the Luxe lipstick from Colourpop Cosmetics. Again, we're going with that shade that I can't pronounce into the crease. This is going to be our transition shade once again. Don't think I need to explain anything here. And just taking a separate clean blending brush just to blend out the edges of this transition shade. Then I'll be taking the shade Last Bite once again. This is going all over our lid, focusing it mostly into the crease. We just want to create some definition in there because we will be cutting our crease very soon, which is right now. So I'm just taking my concealer. I am going to place the concealer where I think it is going to be. I'm going to start cutting out my crease. I'm going to look up. This is going to mark a line where I need to take my concealer up. If I take it up to this mark, that means I will get no transfer. And then I'll take a very thin definer brush just to go up to that crease line and just to carefully cut everything out. On top of that concealer, I am not setting it down. I'm gonna go straight in with my metallic shadow, which is the shade Visions of Gold, and I'm putting this right into the center of my lid, just dabbing it on, and I did use the shade Wet. And then I'll be using the shade Single Origin, and this is going right into the inner corner of the cut crease where we left blank. I'm going to start meshing it into Visions of Gold, making them blend seamless into each other, and I just love the look of these two together. Then I'll be taking my brush again with Last Bite on it, just to blend the metallic and the mattes together. That way there are no harsh lines and it looks like everything is just nicely blended. Using Last Bite once again, this is going on my lower lash line just like the other looks, and I'll also be taking the Colourpop Creme Gel Liner in Swerve once again to tightline my lower lash line. And this is the final demo completed. A little bit more steps, but again, still very minimal steps, very easy to recreate. For lashes, I am wearing the Serene Lite from House of Lashes once again. And for my lip color, it is the Aquarius Ultra Glossy Lip from Colourpop Cosmetics. And that, guys, is going to conclude my video for today. I hope you guys did enjoy my review, my swatches, and also the 3 demos, and hopefully it was helpful to watch. If you guys did enjoy this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up for me, and also comment down below your favorite look and also your thoughts on the Blanc Fusion. If you guys agree or disagree with me, I mean, we're all different and I would love to hear your opinion on it. Again, I know the 3 demos were a little bit rough. I feel like for Cocoa Blend and this palette, I'm not super proud with all the looks that I created, but it was really hard for me to just create 3 looks with like limited matte shadows. I feel like I work best when there are more matte shadows to play with, but either way, I hope you guys did enjoy it and did find it helpful anyway. But yeah, that is everything. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!